After 2 decades of surgical training, I specialised in the treatment of bowel cancer. I spend large parts of my working day talking to patients about their bowel habits, and many of them want to talk about little else. As a nation, we British are obsessed with our gut function, largely because it has never been unhealthier. There is also a deeper, more fundamental fascination with the digestive system. The colon is a national source of comedy that has kept us going through every crisis since the beginning of time. Shit is a crucial and ubiquitous word that serves as a noun, a verb, and an adjective, propping up the entire English language. This wondrous word is simultaneously a profanity and a term used to denote an item of high quality, and it is liberally sprinkled into the daily chatter of our lives, and even into my operating room. Shit, what is that? The sense of revulsion we feel when we're faced with human excrement, or even just the thought of it, is in part a response to the way it looks and smells. The brown stain is caused by a pigment called stercobilinogen, a byproduct of the gut bacterial metabolism of blood, specifically heme, the iron-containing molecule that binds oxygen in hemoglobin. And the foul stink is caused by the chemical products of intestinal fermentation. But that revulsion is also a psychological reflex, ingrained by potty training and social stigma. This aversion is an important safety mechanism. Hand washing and sewer systems prevent the spread of diseases that have killed millions. But what if I told you that feces was not toxic waste, and that it contained the secret to human health? Would you eat it if your life depended on it? What if it was rebranded as a fecal microbiota transplant, or FMT, or, more accurately, a fecal milkshake given through a tube that passes through the nose into the stomach? You could even take it in the form of a capsule or crapsule if you wanted. To help persuade you this might not be such a terrible idea, I'll tell you the tale of a patient. Raymond had driven the number 7 bus between Oxford Circus and East Acton from the age of 20 until taking early retirement in his mid-40s. After Ray's brother died all too young of a heart attack, Ray learned that he too had heart problems, which he was told were genetic. He gave up his job as a bus driver on his doctor's orders and used his retirement to learn about computers. Like you and me and everyone else on the planet, Ray was a host to several trillion microbes, the name for all living organisms that can only be seen under a microscope, that lived in and on his body. From our first breath to our last, and even beyond, microbes are our ever-present companions. While they take up residence in any number of places in our bodies, they're especially keen on, and abundant in, the various cavities and niches found in our gut. The gut microbiome is the name we've given to describe not only the wildly diverse collection of microbes that live there, but also what happens when they interact with each other and with our bodies. In other words, it's an ecosystem made up of trillions of microbial life forms going about their business inside us as we go about ours. In the last 2 decades, scientists from across the world have started to leverage the new science of the microbiome to transform how we conceive of human health. Throughout his life, Ray's gut microbiome had changed with him. As a child, it helped his brain develop, it educated his immune system, and it sustained and nourished him into adulthood. But as time passed, his genes in his gut microbiome began to do battle, causing multiple chronic diseases. His doctor prescribed an ever longer list of medicines. Eventually, Ray developed a type of leukemia that left him profoundly frail. He had to rely on his wife, Heather, a nurse at London's Great Ormond Street Hospital, for care. Ray and Heather navigated his various health issues together until the day pneumonia struck. Ray became seriously unwell. When even breathing became difficult, he was admitted to St Mary's Hospital in Paddington, where he was treated with intravenous antibiotics. Without those drugs, he would have died. With them, the infection was treated and he was discharged within the week. However, it was at this point that a terrible antibiotic firestorm started in his gut.